All right, what is what is up, Speak to Sports? This is Bert. I'm joined by Tay once again, and today we are going over some NFL predictions for going by division. We're looking at the NFC South today, and if you need a refresher, what teams are in the NFC South? That is the division with the Bucks, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers. So we're going to be talking about who's going to be placed where in that division, 1 through 4. And let's get right into it. Tay, who do you got as number one? I think we both probably got this team as number one.
I got Bucks.
Yeah.
Bucks all the way. I mean, you re-sign everybody from your championship team. I've never seen that done before, where everybody wants to come back and everybody's ready to run it back. So when you got something like that going on, you just can't beat it. And then on top of that, I mean, they're just getting better, and then teams in their division aren't really getting much better like they are. It seems that Brady's going to play till he's 50. This guy doesn't seem like he doesn't want to slow down at all. And then the receiving core, I mean, it's already great. Goodwin, Mike Evans. Then you add AB, who seems like he's back on track, and he's looking like he's coming back to himself. So it's going to be pretty scary to kind of take these guys down. I don't really know. I think a big thing for them is if the defense can stay healthy, then they'll be back to where they were last year. Obviously they fixed the offense in the second half of the season because the first half of the season last year wasn't working out. I don't think the offense is going to be a problem. God forbid Brady gets hurt and they got to play Kyle Trask, but I just think this. I mean, they're going to be, until this team decides they want to fall off, they're probably going to run this division for a while, and it's just.
Yeah, I mean they've got the best wide receiver trio in the entire league. I mean, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, you can't beat that. And they got Scotty Miller to back him up, who's not bad. Tyler Johnson. But, they have depth as well as just being really, really good. Their offensive line, I believe, was ranked somewhere in the top 5 last year. So they have a really solid offensive line who's only going to get better because Tristan Wirfs was a rookie when those rankings were made. So
exactly, and he's only going to get better.
It's only going to get better. Their biggest like area of weakness is tight end if Gronk gets hurt. Because I mean, I do believe they still have OJ Howard, but he's not exactly
injury prone. Yeah,
injury prone, and he hasn't really clicked with Brady in the time they've been together. Cameron Brate's all right. He's not bad. Their defense is just really, really good. Their pass rush is awesome. Their cornerbacks are solid. I mean, there's nothing to really complain about on the defense. Maybe their cornerbacks could be a little bit better, but they're as good as can be, and their pass rush is so good they don't really need to have as good a corners. So,
yeah,
I mean, this is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to go against it. So,
and their schedule is so disgustingly easy. I mean, they open at Dallas, then they go to Atlanta, both teams with no defense. They see the Rams, which is going to be tough, but then they go New England, who's not that great of a team, Miami, who's like an average team, Philadelphia, their defense, they don't really have much of a defense. They see the Bears, which is going to be a little bit tough. Saints, that's up in the air. Football team, good defense, all right offense. Giants are a whole mess. We'll talk about them in another episode. They see the Colts, which is going to be tough, but then they go Falcons, and they see the Falcons again. They see the Panthers twice, and they see the Jets. I mean, that is such as easy of a schedule as you probably could get. And the win total for them, probably around 12 to 15 wins, I think, is their range. I think they'll end up as one of the top teams in the NFL for sure. I think they're going to get a bye week.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. 12 to 15, it's easy. Them and then the Chiefs, they're going to run their divisions until somebody finds out something to stop them. But I mean, it's just hard to stop when they're just clicking like that. So
the only thing that could stop the Buccaneers, honestly, is God forbid an injury to Tom Brady. Like that's really stop. Let's talk about our second place there. I feel like we might have different people in second place.
Okay, so for second, I took the Saints.
Okay.
I know they just have so much talent already on the team. Losing Drew Brees is a lot, but they have so much talent. They had so much talent around them, where I think that any quarterback that can, manageably make 10 to 15 yard throws and dink and dime down the field can get the job done. Michael Thomas is still there, of course, but he's obviously, I don't know how long he's going to be there. He's having problems. But, Marquez Callaway stepping up. And then, they have Kamara. Traquan Smith is there too. And then it's just, the offense is just going to be what the offense is. They're a very slow-paced offense. They're not really fast-paced. They like to grind a little bit, get the ball down the field, dink and dime, wear you out a little bit. And then another thing, the defense is going to be that's the big question mark for them. Yeah. How good can their defense really be? Cam Jordan didn't really have that great of a season, but they had the other guy, but he's gone now. He went to the Bengals, Hendrickson. He's gone. He left and he went to the Bengals. So Cam Jordan has to step up again. So it's a matter of that. And then they have Lattimore, obviously Marcus Williams. They have good depth around the defense. Just a matter of, are they going to click well, and can the offense help them out enough to make their jobs easier?
They have one of my favorite players on defense. They have Marshawn Lattimore, Marcus Davenport. I think their defense is – honestly, I think it's probably the least of their problems. I think their offense is a much bigger issue.
Bigger problem, yeah.
Besides Kamara, the only other target to throw to is probably Marquez Callaway. They have Ty Montgomery, who I don't really see them using much unless, obviously, Traquan Smith stays injured. And Michael Thomas is actually, I believe he was projected to miss almost the entire season. He's on a 12 to 15 week injury, he's out.
Oh, from his recurring injury from
before.
Yeah.
And that was so weird because what happened was that the Saints tried to contact him to check up on his rehab and stuff, but he was ghosting them. And then he comes back and he's still dealing with this lingering issue. And the Saints are like, why didn't you help us, help you rehab? And Michael Thomas, once again, is just kind of maybe he doesn't trust the Saints, maybe because he is seeking another opinion on his injuries and stuff. But this injury is it seems like it's really serious because it's still lingering on him even into this year. He got it last year. And I don't think he's going to come back at all to play for this team, either in terms of getting traded or in terms of he just can't play because of his injury.
Yeah.
But Marquez Callaway, I really like Marquez Callaway. I'm not sure if he can be the number one for the whole season, but he's going to be there. Adam Troutman just got hurt, which sucks. He was supposed to be their starting tight end. And their backup tight end, Nick Vanette's also hurt. So they're dealing with a lot of injury. It's going to be Kamara, Callaway, and what's interesting is their quarterback race between Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. Because I kind of feel like Sean Payton is a little more favorited to Taysom Hill. I feel like he kind of wants him to start more because he was saying in the preseason that he wanted to make that decision quick, and Jameis had an amazing game. Yeah. And then afterwards, he was kind of like, I'll wait another week. It's like, come on, man. You just give it to Jameis.
He's for some reason, I don't know what it is, man. He's so big on Taysom Hill. I feel like I recall I saw something where he said he called him the next Steve Young.
He called him the next Lamar Jackson too.
Yeah, I'm just like, come on, man. Listen, Taysom Hill, I know he's able to use his legs and you guys throw him around wherever you want. But as a quarterback, he hasn't really shown that he's capable to lead a team to win 10 to 11 games or even 8 games. I just don't think he's capable to do that. I know last year people say, oh, well, he had a good record when Drew Brees got hurt and blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, we know that, but the defense helped him out a lot. They saved him a lot. He did have a lot of turnovers. He fumbled a lot, threw a lot of interceptions. So it's just, he's really not that great. His defense is just helping him out to win these games so much. So I just don't know how much they can really do.
They said the same thing about Teddy Bridgewater too, and he was a little bit underwhelming because he was doing really, really good with the Saints offense, and then he went to the Panthers. And he didn't do so great there. But something else is just that, if they can't find anybody else at tight end, I think they have Juwan Johnson on their roster. You know what? You might as well just kind of start Jameis at quarterback and put Taysom Hill back.
Taysom Hill to tight end. Just go with that. He's not bad at it. He's not bad at it. He can block. Surprisingly, it's really strange because he's undersized. He's not the biggest guy. He's really kind of undersized, but he's able to get the job done. So, if they want to make that happen, I would say that's definitely the smartest option.
Yeah, because you can't do the reverse where you can't start Taysom Hill at quarterback with Jameis tight end. That doesn't work. But If you start Jameis, you open the door to putting Taysom Hill in there, and now you have an extra target besides Kamara and Callaway and Ty Montgomery. But yeah, I'm not concerned that much about the defense. I think it'll be solid. I'm concerned about the offense and how that's going to end up working.
Yeah, for
sure. But actually, I don't have the Saints second. I will say that.
Ooh, who's your
I got the Panthers. I got the Panthers in second. I'm banking on Sam Darnold doing wonders with this team because it is so. Honestly, it is so stacked in terms of offense. They have Robbie Anderson there, fantastic deep threat. They have DJ Moore, another great deep threat, but he's also big. He can catch. He can work inside the slot a little bit. They have Terrence Marshall Jr., who they just drafted, who's a really good slot guy. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. He's going to end up being really good for them. Those are three, in my opinion. That's a great wide receiver core. And they're going to have Christian McCaffrey coming back, who is just going to soak up any target. He's going to run for 1,000 and catch for 1,000 again, most likely, if he stays healthy. And look, if Sam Darnold, he showed enough flashes on the Jets to where I think that if he has this level of talent around him,
he's capable of winning more games.
Yeah, and they picked up Dan Arnold as their tight end. I believe he was wasn't he on the Cardinals before this?
I believe he was on the Cardinals before, yeah. And now they have a little thing going on with Darnold. They have the Darnold thing.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good team. I think genuinely they could win around somewhere. The range is probably like 7 to 10 games. Genuinely, I think they could do that. The Saints, I actually have the exact same range for the Saints because I think these two will. They really could tie in their record. I do have the Panthers just one spot above the Saints, though. I think the Panthers are going to be a little bit more consistent on offense. And if Sam Darnold can just unlock his potential, I think this could be a really, really solid team.
And then on top of that defense, man. The defense showed a lot last year, how good they really are.
Brian Burns,
and then another big guy, Jeremy Chin.
Yep.
A really big safety. I mean, I think the guy's 6'2", 6'3" at safety. Yep. You can't beat that. And he's physical. He's good for run support, and he's able to cover. So you can't beat that. I mean, the guy flies around the field. There's a lot. So, and they have Dante Jackson.
J.C. Horn
on the other side. They have Dante Jackson. They have a really good defense, which is really going to help them out a lot. I had them in third, but I really had them. It's like you said, it's a toss-up between them and the Saints. Which team is really going to push through and make that second spot? Because whoever doesn't make the second is going to be third, obviously, because we already know who.
And their schedules are kind of around the same, I'd say, level of difficulty in terms of the Panthers and the Saints. So it's really just going to be up to who can do more with what they have, and who can deal with adversity better. Because the Saints they've already got hit with adversity. They have injuries everywhere, but the Panthers haven't hit that yet. DJ Moore I believe he's nursing a small injury, but he's supposed to be ready by the time the season starts. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's talk about the last team that we both agree on as the only team left, the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. So my thing with the Falcons is just there's just no defense there. I mean,
yeah.
The offense is star-studded. I mean, it's not even star-studded. I mean, it's just kind of just like it's Pitts and Ridley, and then you have Matt Ryan, who's a pretty good quarterback. So I mean, you can't go wrong with that. They have a lot of guys that stepped up last year. Russell Gage stepped up last year. I have another guy. I'm trying to think of his name. It's the other receiver. Olamide. I don't know how to say the last name.
Olamide is Zacchaeus. Is that him?
Yeah. So that's a guy that they've been talking up a lot in camp. He's been showing flashes. I mean, they just have speed around the receiving core, and you can't beat it. And then on top of that, you have Kyle Pitts, who everybody's already projecting him, and he hasn't played one down, and he's ranked in the top 5 tight ends in the league, which is insane. Yeah. But I mean, 6'6", 4.4 speed, able to jump, great hands, possible they could play receiver. I mean, a lot of people are saying, he gives very Calvin Johnson-esque vibes because of his size, his speed, his hands. It's very hard to cover this guy. I just don't think the defense has enough to get them to where they need to be at. I got them maybe winning 4 games, maybe 6 at the most. I just don't think the defense has what it takes. I just think they'll win a lot of games based on this offense having shootouts and then just getting a lot of points on the board.
Yeah, the only like few names that kind of stand out to me on the defense is like Dante Fowler Jr., AJ Terrell, Deion Jones. That's for the most part, that's about it. I think this team is gonna be fun to watch. Honestly, I think because they're gonna have a lot of close games because their defense is so bad, but their offense is actually really solid. I think Russell Gage is a fine wide receiver too for the team, and Olamide, I think he's going to be decent as well. Camp talk is camp talk, but at the same time, he is going against the Falcons defense in camp, so it's not exactly. Like So I'm not too focused on their camp stuff, but if he's good, he'll be good. Kyle Pitts, I think people are overrating him a little bit. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be good, like that good in his rookie year. Obviously, I think tight ends take a couple years to develop. They usually break out in their second or third year. So I'm not expecting as much this year from Kyle Pitts. But hey, I mean, if he breaks out, sure. You could probably see I could see a lot of 2 tight end sets being run with him and Hayden Hurst, because they still have Hayden Hurst on the roster.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Mike Davis as a running back. I'm not sure about him as a full-time starter, but he did really, really solid last year. So it'll be interesting to see if he can continue that. And they have behind him Cordell Patterson and Quadri Alson and Deontay Foreman, but I don't think he's going to get many minutes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, Calvin Ridley did really good without Julio in the lineup last year. If he can repeat that, this is going to be a really fun team to watch. They're going to score a lot of points, but they're just going to get dunked on the other end. Yeah. That's the problem.
That's the big issue with them is just defense, and they just got to find that. They got to find some guys to draft. Maybe dive a little bit into free agency some more. But they're just a work in progress right now, and I think they just got to get ready to move on with the quarterback. I know they have Felipe Franks, who is a super big quarterback. I think he's like 6'6", and he's I think on a little heavy set too. But he's able to. I mean, he slings it. He does. I think I watched a little bit of preseason. I mean, can't really base off what he's doing against other teams' backups, but just his arm strength and his velocity on the ball. I mean, he can sling it. So I mean, as long as he can get the ball to guys, I mean, he might be the guy for the future for them. Who knows?
Who knows? I do think they're going to have a high draft pick. I don't expect them to win a ton of games. I think the range is anywhere between probably like 2 to 5, maybe 6. I mean, looking at their schedule, they do have a lot of easy games I think they could win. They do go against the Jaguars, they go against the Giants, the Jets, teams like that, the Lions, but they also go against teams like the Bills, the Niners, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Saints. Teams that are just, I think, just straight up better than them in general.
Yeah. So
it's going to be tough for them to do anything more than play themselves into like a 5th overall pick or 6th overall pick.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's just rebuilding for them. I think they have a good foundation with young guys around everywhere but the quarterback position.
They have a really good foundation.
Defensive side, I mean, they do have young guys there who, they can just build with and, continue on and just keep them guys around and make it work. But just based on drafting and what they're going to do.
If they can find a way to get a quarterback in the first round and then just go defense from there, honestly, they could start trying to compete like right away, like after, right?
Sure.
At the start of next year.
Yeah, for sure. 1,000%.
This is they're like the opposite of the Texans. They started the rebuild in a really good position.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And I think they just need to, on top of that, if they can find a back, maybe like deep in the draft, maybe second, third round in the draft, they can find a back to, pick up either, if not next year, within the next 2 years, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, and even in the undrafted market, I mean, there's still guys there who can make an impact for you in terms of running back. James Robinson, obviously one of the biggest best stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's all I got to say about this. So thank you all for watching. Let's name our rankings one more time before we go.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had the Bucks, and then the Panthers, and then the Saints, and then the Falcons.
And then with my rankings, I had Bucks, Saints, Panthers, and then Falcons.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys next time.
Peace.